Christmas Live. I don't know what it's called. So, Rob, Luke, thanks for joining me. And introduce yourself, sir. Say hello.
I'm me, he's him. Yeah, there you go.
That's absolutely brilliant for you two. Yeah, I'm me, he's him. Who's her?
I'm me, he's him, and he's my favourite little Scottish person. Awesome.
I is your favourite Scottish person.
You are, yeah.
Don't start around. It's Christmas.
Geordie's my favourite little Irish person. Yeah.
I don't use big words around Geordie now.
But yeah, Irish. Love you, Geordie.
So this is kind of an end of year kind of wrap up of I've asked you a couple of questions or to prepare a couple of answers for the questions. Hopefully you've done the homework. Yeah.
Someone's is Rob muted?
Oh, am I muted?
No, I can hear him. He's a bit low.
Oh, sorry, everyone can't hear me. I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
I can hear you, Rob.
Rob was mute for a little while at the start there. You're okay now.
Okay. Oh, I'll say hello again then, if no one can hear me. I'll just say it's a privilege to be on Thomas's Christmas Live. Thank you very much, Thomas. And nice to be with Luke again. Top gents.
Yeah, well, a short notice. I only messaged you. Was it yesterday? Or the day before?
Yeah.
And as you can tell, Thomas has gone all out with the Christmas background. You know, he's really put a lot of effort in. So, you know.
Well, I was going to cancel this about 30 or 40 times today. I feel absolutely crap. So I'm barely standing up or I'm sitting down, but I'm barely still alive. So you're looking still here. It's only because there's going to be the sexy Luke John. That's the only thing that kept me going. Then you
kept me driven.
Yeah.
He always thinks of me.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the first question. Beer of the year for you. Easy question to answer.
Let Luke go first.
Well, I've got obviously like the top 7, but my standout beer of the year is the.
Yeah, we'll exclude American beers from Sierra Nevada.
I've got in that case, then I've got a top 5.
No, go on.
But I'll do it in, you know, leading up. May as well lead up to what it is.
Well, what about we go something like supermarket and we go something like the special beers then?
Not a lot of mine are supermarket beers.
Well, we'll say supermarket or local beer, something that's not really that expensive but is good quality. We say, put it that way.
Yeah. So on my list then for something local is. It's number 4 on my list, and it's the Tartarus Clud. 11.5%, and that's a Belgian quadruple, and you get this lovely fig raisin rum kind of. I would say it's a bit like a Christmas cake in a quadruple form. So, I mean, the notes I've put is. I found out because I actually spoke to the lad that owns the brewery, and he said the yeast is from Chimay Blue, the Belgian.
Yeah, okay.
So they use that yeast, and it's on my notes says dried fruits, sweet, not overly sweet, hint of berries and spice, and that's kind of, to me, berries and spice says Christmas, basically.
Okay,
So that's kind of
summer?
I had that back in. I bought a case of it in January. So I bought 24 bottles, and I loved every single bottle. And I've got one bottle left. I've got one bottle left, which is Christmas Day, my live show.
Oh, good. Are any of your top 5 beers below 9%?
I doubt.
There's a 9. In at number 7 is a 7%. And that's the Samuel Smith's Imperial Stout.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
In that nice white bottle.
Yeah. It's only like a 355ml bottle or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's like another local one, being the Yorkshire lad.
You're from Yorkshire. I would have never guessed, Luke. You're from the Yorkshire flag hanging up there. Oh, sorry, EU.
Is that better, Thomas? Yorkshire flag.
Oh yeah, I'm with happier now.
But yeah, yeah, go for it, Rob.
Yeah.
Me, beer of the year. I've got one for each sort of like. I've got one for craft, one for trad, and one for cask. So we'll start with cask. My cask beer of the year has to be Track Brewery Sonoma, and I don't think Luke would like it because it's only 3.8%, and it is a belting beer. You can buy it in can, keg, mini keg, and cask, and it's just carries a lot of flavour, a lot of tropical notes, and the mouthfeel for 3.8 is superb. It really is. It's easily best cask beer I've had all year by a long way. Traditional beer. This is a supermarket beer, and basically this year I had it on cask and then returned and got it back on bottle and had it for a long time. Sort of ignored it. Been a lot of like crafty beers. I've been ignoring the traditional supermarket stuff, so I've sort of gone back to looking at them. And Theakston's Old Peculiar in a bottle is my trad beer of the year. It is absolutely stunning. That comes in about 5.6%. I had it on cask, in a wooden cask. That was even better. So yeah, that's a supermarket beer. I think you can actually get it in Aldi and Lidl as well. It's just one of them ones that you can just get anywhere. So yeah, and the craft beer for me is Red Willow in Macclesfield, not too far away from me. And it's a double heritage porter coming in at 8.8%. That is just full of proper dark, roasty chocolate, coffee, everything you want from a porter. But it's brewed with heritage malts as well, British heritage malts. And we're trying to, even as a home brewer, I'm trying to brew more with the local British malts and heritage as well. So yeah, they're my 3 beers of the years in different how do you put it? Different ways of drinking them.
Yeah, I did have a list of canned bottles and then pub, like draft cask. But I tried to whittle them down just into like the best. It turns out like they're all bottles.
Yeah. That Red Willow one I said is a can. Then the bottle is the Theakston. I mean, the Theakston just honestly, it's one of them beers I've just totally ignored for years, and I'm like, why have you ignored this? Why? Honestly, go to your supermarket and if you like dark beers that are, like you said, Luke, Christmas cake and rum, dark fruits, and so warming as well for possibly £1.50. Really good beer.
I mean, I know, like, I think I've had close to about 3,000 beers this year.
What?
Yeah. But obviously, you know, But like when you go to like beer festivals, yeah, they do start to add up. You know, I mean, just that one session at London Craft Beer, I had 48 different beers from different breweries. So obviously the ones that I came away with, which has made my list, is the Hop and Frog, Chorus the Quasher. And that's
what a name that is.
Yeah, especially when you've had a few. 15.7%, and it's number 3 on the list.
Wow. See, when you go to a beer festival, you drink pints, don't you, as well? Or halves?
Yeah, I try not to go for 150ml or 250ml. I just don't see the point in it, really.
Yeah, I mean, I do go for the thirds. I'm like, I just have. If I had 48 halves, I'd be done. I wouldn't even get near 48 halves.
No, if I got 20 halves, I might be okay, but no.
Yeah. I mean, my local brewery at Three Brothers, they'll put a new one in for like one of the brewery tours, and these are one of these that you pay £20 and you can drink as much as you like. And they're like, "Oh, would you like a sample?" And they just pour me a full pint as a sample. You know, do you want to sample it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You're going to have a pint of it anyway. We know what you're going to do. So
yeah.
You know,
top tip, really. I always ask for a third. Yeah, I always ask for a third, and you always get a half. Easy.
Yeah.
You know, you go, "Can I have a third of that?" And you end up with a half anyway. So, top tip.
Yeah. But I mean, funny enough, 15.7, and it only made 3rd on my list. So
that's because you drank it. You can't remember it. You don't remember it. That's why.
I remember paying £22 for the can of it after I left. Yeah, not cheap. But Hop and Frog is a US brewery, so yeah, import duties and all that tends to be a little bit more of a pain.
Yeah, you're buying a bar as well, like, so you're getting the extra as well, extra service on it as well, probably.
But obviously, I have got some Sierra Nevada on there, but the only one in the top 7 from Sierra Nevada is the rum barrel-aged quad, which is this one.
Is that the Woods or something? Something in the Woods? Is that not the one?
Yeah, Trip in the Woods.
Right. I can get that, Luke, for £12 at my bottle shop. Is that good?
That is very good. These are £23.50 on Cascade Club.
Right, there's something wrong then, isn't there? If I can get it that cheap.
Yeah.
Maybe is it last year's or something? I don't know.
Which would be even better if it's last year's. It's aged.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no best before date on these. So if they've had it a couple of years and they just want rid of it because nobody's bought it,
might be that.
Go for it.
Buy all the bottles of it, Rob.
And in fact, Rob, if you do that, me and Sharky have got a couple of series coming up where we're going to do the Trip in the Woods. So we've both got 3 Trip in the Woods
3
bottles. Yeah.
You doing it all in one night?
No, we're going to do it in 3 shows. I mean, the 750ml bottles, so
yeah.
Still, that's a bit like you.
Yeah.
You managed to 3 bottles in a sitting.
Yeah, I bet Luke was going, "Let's do them all at once," and Kevin's like, "No chance."
Yeah, he was like, I just really want to enjoy it. I'm like, yeah, I'll enjoy them. Just doesn't mean I've got one, does it? But 750ml big bottle, sharing bottle, they call it. It's a pint and a half.
Yeah.
Or less than a pint and a half. You know, how many times would you share a pint and a half with someone? You wouldn't really. Yeah.
It's just to justify you buying it, so That's all you can say. Oh, sure, I'll share. I'll bring this to a sharing or something, and then you drink it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ABV is it?
11.7.
So it's not that bad then.
No, obviously, I had to get this one, which is only 8.6, and again, it was £23. But it's because Sharky picked up one and he's never tried it before, and it's their Torpedo.
Oh.
And it's a limited edition. There's only so many bottles of it.
So is that like an IPA?
Yeah.
It's a barrel-aged
IPA. Torpedo is an IPA normally.
Well,
quadruple IPA or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much information on it, to be honest. It just says barrel-aged Torpedo.
The normal Torpedo is a double IPA, isn't it? It's about 8%.
Yeah.
So
8.6.
Barrel-aged or something.
Which, I mean, it's 8. I mean, for me, I was like, 23 quid. It's 8.6. What?
Yeah.
A bit low, but obviously, Sharky's gone out and bought the other two higher ABVs just so we can do these shows on and up to Christmas. So I suppose that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, speak of the devil. You say his name a couple of times, he just appears.
Yeah. He's got one of them senses, hasn't he? Like a real shark.
Sharky senses, isn't it? You can get
Before we start talking about Thomas's, at number 6, I've got Trappist Akel, 9.5%.
I've got that in the fridge.
And obviously that's from St. Benedictus Abbey in Akel, where St. Benedictus comes from. And all I've got is malt sweetness, dried fruit flavours with a sherry note. And I think there was a slight hoppy bitterness to it, if I remember correctly. And number 5, I've got Guden Carolus Indulgence Festiva, 9.3.
Never heard of that.
That was brand new to me, and it's a sparkling Belgian blonde.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of got this floral, herbal fruitiness. It's something that you wouldn't put together because it kind of pours like a champagne.
Yeah.
Than a blonde ale. But yeah, that made it on there. And I did put as a note, need to try more of that sparkling Belgian stuff. And then at number 1 is Cold Bath Brewing in Harrogate, Baltic Porter. A Baltic Porter, 10%, and that is my beer of the year.
So
when
how
you
would
think
you
of all
describe
these
that?
Roastiness of the malts. You get that little bit of barley. You pick up a little bit of the yeast because with the Baltic Porter, it's a lager yeast.
Yeah.
So obviously you're getting that flavour coming through. Mouthfeel was fantastic. And I'm probably a bit biased because, yeah, it's in Yorkshire. But I always say when it comes to beers, the water that you use has a huge impact on the final taste. And you can kind of tell it's Yorkshire spring water. I'm not allowed to say Harrogate water because that's a trademark.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's a mineral.
So it's a Yorkshire water, but yeah, I was given that as a special from the brewery owner. I was just thinking, he's just trying to sweeten me up. It's probably mid-range, and I wasn't expecting it to even beat Trip in the Woods because that rum barrel aged quad was my number 1 for months and months and months.
Yeah.
So there was nothing touching that. But again, it's a different style that I never had. I've had plenty of porters, but not a Baltic porter done in like kind of the traditional style.
So it's taken out in a can for
in a bottle.
Was it? Wow.
In
don't see
330. Yeah, 330ml bottle, black bottle, poured lovely, and he's got a few bottles left, and I said to Mr. Sharkey that I'd get one off him and then try and send it over. So I'm going to try and find a way to smuggle it into California.
Just be easier to go yourself, and we can just hand deliver it.
Yeah, probably.
It's all Rob's fault. He said I had to go hand deliver to Kevin.
I was talking to Father Christmas, and he said, "If you could please just hand deliver it."
Credit card details, so I had to go.
But I mean, there's a few beers that didn't make me list. Some of them were big Trappist beers and Rockford, and yeah, loads of different ones that didn't make. Like I said, when you have so many beers, I mean, I take notes as much as I can, but sometimes it's like even your notes don't make sense after a while.
Yeah, especially with the big ABV beers.
Yeah, it's like I've a couple of 15.7 bloody stouts, and then you have a lager, and you're like multi-backbone biscuity. Oh, that's a lager. Why did I write that?
Roasty.
Yeah. Rusty nuts, and you look at it, and it's like 3.2%. I'm like, never have it after all them big ABVs. Well,
it could be worse. It could be a Foster's, and you're absolutely banging on about it in a video. Like,
or it was a Foster's. Yeah.
You know, this Budweiser, it's better than Budvar. Who knew? Yeah.
You think you're related some way?
Well, probably at number 14, if I put them together, would be the Budvar Dark.
Oh, I've not had that.
Oh, it's good.
I can imagine
it is good.
Can you get that in bottles, though, in the UK?
You can. Well, you have to buy a full case. You can get it on Amazon.
Right. So it's not something you find in shops.
No. The select bottle shops might have it, but they tend to charge quite a bit for it. I know there's a few places that have it on cask, on keg as well, but few and far between.
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
I'm sorry, John, for not doing any Lord beers in my top 10, but I've still got two. Look there, look there they are.
Oh yeah, you've got two there.
Fish counter and a Weiss beer.
Oh yeah, go for the fish counter first. Got to be drunk a bit fresher on it.
Yeah. So I've got, obviously, I've been on the website and had a little gander, and I'm like, I can get 8.5 pints for the same price as one bottle of Trip in the Woods. But then I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to remember Trip in the Woods more than 8 pints in a keg. And there's no way I can even return them anyway.
No.
There's no return on it, so it's like, well, yeah. I'll just have to keep hold of them. I'll just make a Christmas tree for next year in the corner, I think. Just
yeah.
There's a backing up all these little mini kegs.
So is there any beers that you're disappointed over the year with? I mean, that you're looking forward to it and you tried it and you're disappointed with them?
One for me, been quite recent. And I love Marble Brewery. I love Marble beers. and they did one. It's quite recent. They did a collab, and it was a milkshake IPA beer, and I couldn't get on with it. It was overly sweet. The lactose was coming through. The taste, it just felt like everything had gone wrong in that beer. And yeah, that was probably my biggest disappointment this year, because I really do think Marble are cracking brewers, and I've been doing a series about them. And then they got this one. I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to that, and drank it. I was like, that is probably the worst Marble beer I've had. So that's probably my biggest disappointment for a beer this year.
So they probably threw in a load of lactose because they knew something went wrong. And
yeah, lots of it. Yeah. I suppose this is a bit controversial, but earlier in the year, I got myself the Verdant Putty, and that did not live up to the hype for me. I just thought Verdant have done much better beers than the Putty. So I've been stung. I'm not going to go for it again, especially if it comes out. It'll be out in January, and I won't be buying £8 a can, 440ml, about 8%. And I was like, no, it just, there's Verdant do better beers that aren't this hype. So that was a bit of a controversial one.
What about you, Luke? Any beers?
Another one quite recent was Thornbridge, 13% Caribbean Stout. Now, for me, I don't think the brewery, when they added so much sugar, thought about the natural sugars that would occur within a Caribbean rum barrel. So it was a barrel-aged Caribbean rum stout, and it was just so sweet, like kind of verging on a sour.
Wow.
You know, the sweetness. I had about 250 ml on. It's on one of my rate that stout shows. I had about 250 ml of it. The rest of the bottle went down the drain.
Wow.
It was one of the most sweetest beers I've had this year.
Yeah.
And it was
not
just
palatable.
Like, no.
Doesn't sound good.
And I think that's what it is. They didn't take into account that when you get a Caribbean rum barrel, and Caribbean rum's made with bananas, which have a huge load of sweetness in it, that's going to still be inside them barrels. So they could have probably done away without adding sugar.
Yeah.
You know, or limited it, but it was just way too sweet. And the only other one, which is now my worst beer I have ever had, is the Barry Island IPA. That was part of that Lidl. It was part of Lidl's beer festival.
Oh, okay.
£1. It was a 330ml can. I think it was £1.29, and it was. I think I described it as a lemon-scented block in a men's urinal. Yeah, it was.
I want to know how you know what that tastes like.
Yeah, that's an unusual reference.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like I said, Optimum was like sucking on your granny sideboard. You know, it's that little pint sideboard that you got from Eyeglass in the 1950s or whatever. You know, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, obviously, I described it as I didn't think really of what I was saying, but.
That's brilliant.
But I mean, that's the type of reviews that people want to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honest reviews. If you could describe it, how would you describe it?
See,
little lemon block in the men's urinal.
All right, Kevin.
Hello.
Mr. Sharkey?
I'm trying to get electrocuted, so I've been hanging lights, and I think I got a little overwhelmed in my work.
Well, if you do it, you have to do it live here, so I can make a good video.
Viral.
So Kevin, as you joined us, beer of the year, then what's your beer of the year?
Wherever was in that. It's gone. I don't know. Beer of the year. That's a good question. I still have what we still have. What day is the 3rd? We still got 28 more days to go to determine that.
Yeah, but from this day last year to this
Oh, okay. Well, to be honest, I'm kind of hoping that the Trip in the Woods is going to be that beer. Yeah, I know that's a good question. I mean, because I'm trying to think of all. I'm not like Luke John here and take notes on everything. So there's probably beers I said, oh yeah, this is really great, and like, whoops, forgot. Because I was looking at my Untapped, and I read most of the beers at the same. Hey Lou, at the same rating. So I was like, okay, there wasn't anything right over the top. But I was, because I usually save the bottles or whatever. But this is getting a little hot. I will let you keep myself. So yeah, I'm stalling here on that question.
What about what's the best beer you've brewed?
Oh, the best. I would. You believe it or not, it's my Sharkweiser. For some, I mean, it's a stupid lager, but I mean, Eric, of course, like as Rob, you know, you're critical of everything you do, kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of beers like going like, okay, I wish I need to do better, or I wish I didn't do that change, kind of thing. I mean, they were still good. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think of, because obviously the beer of the year is going to be an IPA for me.
Okay.
And I want to say it's one of the Sierra Nevadas. But like I said, we got so many breweries here, and it's really hard. I mean, that's a hard, because it's hard to pick. I mean, I could probably do what like Luke John did, do the top 10, but I'm not ready for that. I didn't do my homework on that one.
The best response you could possibly give, Sharky, is my beer of the year is yet to come.
Oh, that's basically true. That's what I'm hoping the Trip in the Woods is going to be.
Or you could just say some random beer, some random brewery.
Yeah.
About, and then...
Well, okay. We'll actually, we'll go here. Great White. A shark. Oh, look at that.
They use inspiration and
yeah. So this is basically my relative. This is my uncle. No. But yeah, no. I've had. I mean, this actually, I'm not a sour beer fan, and that Anger Shark. Oh, again, no shark beer. Oh. And so that's a fruit punch sour. I mean, that was really. It wasn't over the top sour, like, oh, you get that pucker power kind of thing. It was a nice balance, and if I had to drink a sour, those I would. That Martin House in Texas, those I would definitely drink.
Well, you probably missed earlier, Sharky, when I said that my bottles have already arrived. Yeah,
I saw yours. I didn't track mine yet to see if it's on. I'm assuming it's probably on its way, because when I tracked it, I told you yesterday. It was basically it was all ready to go. Is the shipping company didn't pick it up yet, kind of thing. So I had the tracking number on all that.
The fun thing for me was that it arrived this morning, and my 9-year-old nephew went to the door and she just handed over the parcel.
Oh yeah.
No signature, nothing, and I'm like, "There's expensive beers in that box, and you haven't asked." You just give it to a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Who, just chucks things all over, and you've just given him like £50 worth of beer in a box with no signature or anything else. So I was like,
so kind of backtrack. So on those bottles, did it come in its own? Oh God, container, shipping container, like a cardboard or a paper.
Yeah, they'll just send it in a box. They've got mine up in They wrap mine up in the boxes of liquid hobbiness.
Okay. No, because the ones that I have, the bottles I got from Sierra Nevada here, they have it's a preformed packing. So basically, it wraps around, and so it's almost it's good for shipping kind of thing. I mean, it's not the little slots that you get, but it's like its own little form. So so basically, what started all this mess was, I mean, obviously Luke John had those beers before, but Sierra Nevada just came out with a Christmas IPA. So I bought a 4-pack of that. So that's what's kind of, I thought, well, in order to get the free shipping, you had to spend $100 US. Going like, well, I got the trip in the woods. That'll be like that. Yep. But then the other thing I got too is Sierra Nevada. I don't know if they just slapped their name on it. Was basically Sierra Nevada has a peanut brittle that they sell. So I don't know if they make. So I don't know if there's beer infused in that peanut brittle, which I'm hoping it is. So hopefully they'll have like a pale ale.
I love peanut brittle.
Yeah, can't beat it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm that little fat kid in the candy shop with peanut brittle.
Well, basically, I mean, it's gonna be part of my dad's Christmas present, because he likes peanut butter too. So I'm getting all these like C's candy. They have peanut butter brittle, and so Sierra Nevada kind of make a little peanut brittle package for him for Christmas. So
imagine getting your dad a barrel-aged peanut brittle. Yeah, it's barrel-aged. It's fine. Rum barrel, 12-month peanut brittle, done.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I might try that actually. Oh, I might do actually. I might use just a little bit what's left in a bottle. See if I can infuse it.
So going back to what you guys were talking about, the beers you're kind of disappointed in, and basically I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. That was disappointing to me this year.
Oh,
I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I don't know if I doubt they changed the recipe, but it just did this year. It just didn't I was like not impressed.
What was it lacking?
It wasn't. I mean, for me, it wasn't. There wasn't enough bitterness in it. It was just like, I mean, which is kind of weird. I mean, like it was there, but it wasn't there. I mean, so it was just like, I was like, yeah, it was like it just didn't hit the spot like it has in years past. And the other one, I have to go get the bottle.
See, to me, that Optimum was a bit too resinous, which is why it was like Granny's pine sideboard. You know, like it was kind of
sucking on a Christmas tree.
It was. You know, it was too piney for its own good. And it kind of took away from what would have been a good beer. But
was it too fresh? It was too green. Was it too fresh to be drunk? Was it too fresh?
The other one I was disappointed in, it was the Anchor Merry Christmas Happy New Year. It's got it's a very earthy taste to it. And I don't think they use spruce tips in it, but somebody says they use some other kind of tree in it. I'm going, wherever that tree was, don't do it again. I mean, because every year they change the recipe on this. So that was the other one. So that was part of my the beers that we voted on, or the kind of thing.
I was saying there, Sharky, that Optimum was a bit too resinous for me.
Yeah, that might have been because yeah, that might be true too. Yeah, 'cause it was. I mean, obviously, I got it when it was fresh, so it wasn't like okay, it was too old or anything. I don't know if maybe I should have sat on it and let it age, so it'll mellow out a little bit. Maybe I mean, it was maybe I call it too green, which some of our IPAs here, West Coast, can if they just brewed it in a bottle, it, can it, wherever, and just send it out. It's so it's like okay, yeah, it needs another couple of weeks to kind of just let it mellow out.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you drink one like this, you want to drink it as soon as possible because the beer was designed for that way.
Yeah.
So that was another good one. Obviously,
coming get that fresh. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because obviously this is almost going to be 2 months by Christmas, so it's still that's kind of tipping the. It's still all right. I mean, it's still gonna be all right, but it's just I think you're gonna start losing some of that fresh hop.
See, Sierra Nevada used to put the Celebration IPA in a bottle. They used to bottle it, and now it's just canned format, I think.
Well, yeah.
That's all we can now get our hands on. It's just cans, and then but I really like the bottle.
We can on certain ones, besides the pale ale, on this they do bottle it still. It's just very hard to find. Wherever shop you go to, if they're good, it's kind of like there's the list, a list kind of thing. Like, oh, okay, you get wherever you want kind of thing. You want bottles, cans, whatever.
Yeah. Bring back 2019. We had it in a bottle. Well, for me, so like Sierra Nevada is a company that or you expect to have good beer from. Really, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, that Optimum was too resonant for me, but people that like pint furniture.
But I think they've. Yeah, well, because they try to make it. I think they try to make it dank, and I think so. That's why I said I think it gives you that resonance. And honestly, I don't know if it was just the way they brewed it. I mean, I don't because usually that stays the same. Recipe stays the same, as far as I know. I mean, obviously the label changed this year, but but yeah, no, but like I don't know, maybe I was telling you guys before. I don't know. Maybe it was Paul. We were talking about. It was like when I first started drinking beer. It was obviously Sierra Nevada, and wherever beer Sierra Nevada had, you could almost do a blind taste test and pick out. That was Sierra Nevada. That was Sierra Nevada. That was Sierra, because they all had that. There was that yeast wherever they use it. Just give it. There was just off that little flavor. And okay, that's that. That's basically that is.
Same. Yeah, with Cloudwater beers, I think they've got the same. Like you just get that theme. There's a theme that goes through every beer, and you go, that's a Cloudwater.
And it could be a stout. I mean, it could be all across. There's not all different styles. It was like, okay, yeah, that's Sierra Nevada. I mean, now they're not. I mean, it's not really as bad. So.
Moves off to sort the boys out. We know who she's talking about.
Great.
Yeah. the biggest one?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, they are, if you go any place, I'm going to say that has it, that, okay, that beer is going to be good. So, I mean, it's your kind of your standby if you can't find anything. That, okay, they got Sierra Nevada, but I want to see if there's anything else I want. So if you're going, okay, there's nothing really here I really want. Okay, I'll have this here in Nevada. Kind of thing. I mean, it's and we have. I'm sure you guys did that too. It's like, okay, yeah, those are the standbys, but now let's try this one. And you're going, damn, I wish I had the standby. Or the nice one.
Marble one I had.
Well, funny enough, Rob said he can get his hands on the rum. Sierra Nevada quad.
That Woods one you had.
Okay, yeah.
And half the price that Cascade Club are paying or charging.
Must be an old beer.
Yeah, I mean that's even Cascade Club last month had 20% off. That only took it down to 18. So if somebody's selling it for 12, they just kind of want rid of it. There's no other reason really to sell it that cheap.
Yeah, because obviously that one. I mean, it's you can have it on the shelf for a while. It just one of those that's not moving, so they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna lower the price just to see if someone will come in. Because
if you want to get it, Rob, and join us.
I'll see if we can get it when I go in. Should be in there next week at some point.
Okay.
We'll see if it's still there. It's like one bottle on the shelf. It's literally one bottle there.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, the 23.50 online. So
crazy.
They're 27.
Yeah, I think I paid over $21 US dollars.
I noticed it because it was next to Titanic Plum Porter Reserve Ports Edition. I think that's £10. I don't know if that's good. That was £10 for a 750.
I mean, Titanic Plum Porter, you know what you're getting. And I think the reserve one it's their little extra special, isn't it? But I think it's only that extra special because it's in a bottle, like sharing bottle. But I mean, there's only so much plum porter. I think I said this to John at Lords. I said,
"Hi, David.
Breweries when they stick, like Guinness do Guinness. You know what they do. Titanic to me, plum porter. I want a clue what else they do. I just go plum porter.
Yeah, there's a few, isn't there? I mean, I recorded the review for the plum porter. It's not going to come out until New Year, but I was questioning in my video. I think I questioned whether the plums are like a synthetic or something, or is it just had this taste that you thought, what have you used there? I was just questioning that really. I don't know.
Yeah, well, with Brexit, I know fresh produce is hard to come by. I know my local brewery, they're like, we can't get the nectarines, we can't get this, we can't get that. We're just struggling to buy it in. Supermarkets can barely get their hands on stuff. So when it comes down to breweries and stuff, there's no chance. The warehouses are bare. If anyone, has a business like mine, food business, I go in all the time looking for food and different ingredients. It's like, nope, we've got none of them. Portobello mushrooms. Try and get your hands on portobello mushrooms. They've gone up £4 a case in the last 5 months. But I put portobello mushrooms on every breakfast. Yeah. So now, £4 for the same case. Extra is a lot of money. When you're buying three, 4 cases every week.
Just to answer Brad, we think it's an old beer they can't get rid of.
Well, the thing too is they obviously, like I said, they want to get rid of it, but then obviously they're losing money. But what they're banking on or they're hoping is basically that you're gonna buy that, and all of a sudden you go, oh. So now they're making up for that loss. So you're not going to walk out with one bottle. You're going to probably walk out with who knows how many.
No, I never walk out with one bottle.
Yeah. Well, it was like when I bought these guys this year. I was like, okay, I was going to buy the 4. Well, next thing you know, I'm sitting with a crate of a beer. I'm going like, I have different beers. I'm going like, oh, that was expensive little purchase.
Yeah. Nice.
Cheers, Simo.
Evenings. Nice, Simo. Hey,
Simo.
I am a portobello mushroom.
You talk about food and then Simo pops up.
Shark, when you mentioned sharks.
Yeah. It was just ironic. I just happened to be just because I got home from doing something. That's why I told Thomas I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to join.
We didn't even hear the theme music. That was the strange bit. He just popped up. You didn't give us a warning.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm very sneaky.
Yeah.
On this very Christmassy themed backdrop.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of got my little brewery. I mean, it's backlit, but there we go. I mean, I got a reef, and I got some garland. Obviously, I had the lights that basically almost.
Thomas's background effect on this channel is like blacker than his soul.
Because he's. Yeah, it's the cold. It's cold.
Yeah, just like Ireland.
But yeah.
But I'm looking forward to trying these beers with you, Sharky.
Yeah, this like I think you probably talked about that. We're gonna do the torpedo next week. Then maybe then the next do it and then do the
rum
in the woods. Yeah, I don't know if we'll do the trip in the woods both at the same time or one. I mean, probably. Like I was telling, I don't know. Basically, just probably just do one for it'd be like an hour show. Rob, kind of, if you do get it, I mean, it's not going to be long. I mean, we're basically just going to do a review and kind of talk about it. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah, I'll message you both if I can get hold of it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I've got that chocolate chipotle sat there as well. Trip in the Woods.
Yeah. Well, I wanted that Visions of Sugar Plum or one, and it's sold out here. So I was like,
yeah, I can get it, but I'm not a huge fan of barley wine style.
Yeah,
I think with the sugar plums, I think it's a mixture of a few of the bottles together.
Yeah.
So it's got the barley wine, and I'm like, the Spice Day Bigfoot.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. The barley wine was just too prominent.
Yeah,
in it.
I was almost gonna get that one, and I just backed off. I just lost it. Like, yeah.
I mean, when I was young, it only used to be women that used to drink barley wine in the bingo hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, let's put it in a beer and have it at 11%. And really, I mean, we must have had a load of tough grannies back then, supping down barley wine while they're playing the bingo.
Gangster grannies.
Don't mix with their bingo.
But it's pure. I mean, I've still got that West Coast IPA.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't opened that yet. I'm
Yeah.
just a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested and see how that Christmas IPA. I forgot. It has to have some kind of spices in it.
Yeah.
To give you, it's a one-off. Because you have to buy it, because I can't even, because some of those they do that. It's like you have to order through Sierra Nevada. So I was like, okay. Especially for the 4-pack of it, it was $27 US. Like, ouch.
Yeah, 4-pack.
Yeah, that's gonna be one, and it's one of those like this one here is like, I usually get one bottle. It's like some of these, I get a single bottle first. Then if I like it, then I'll go buy the 6-pack or 4-pack, whatever they have.
Yeah.
But this year, I went, and that's all they had was the 6-pack of these. And also went, Well, the dummy me was, I bought it, and I was talking to, I forgot whose live I was talking about it, and it says, drink it. I'm going like, it's warm. I mean, it's not cellar temperature. It is warm. And so drink it. And I did that. I was like, oh, No, I was like, yeah, I almost had that medicinal. I mean, it was already had the earthy, and when it's cold, it was just like, ooh, it was just like,
Oh, yeah.
it was almost. I
Oh.
almost want to do a drain pour of it. Like, oh, this is. But then I said, okay, but well, I drink it too warm, and they kind of laughed at me for doing it. But I didn't drink it all. I was like, no. So then the next day I had it, and it was better, but it still was. I was going, man, they're gonna have a lot of these left on the shelf. I mean, if all the beer reviewers get it, and because the other guy he already had it and did a review, and he was like very disappointed too.
See, my favourite little brewery down in London has just got a load of Firestone.
Yeah.
And Finback and Equilibrium and all that in. And I want to try. There's some beers on there that I know I'm going to like, but like, you know, Equilibrium, £38 for a 500 ml bottle.
Yeah.
What?
The Parabola is pretty. I don't know if you had the regular Parabola. That's pretty good. But they do a lot of. They're trying to get into the. Well, it's like these guys. It's the Bourbon County Stouts from Goose Island. Well, basically, it's a 4-barrel blend. And what they did this year was, because this is the base stout. What they did this year was they did a 4-pack of 330 milliliters of each barrel. So there's 4 sets out there. I'm going. I said, no, if I was marketing, I'm going to what have that thing as a mix pack. You would sell them like that because that's the hot. Everybody's going after these guys, but then they found out about those little 4-packs of the individual barrels, aged beers, and there was like.
Equilibrium, 3 Chiefs players return, 500 ml bottle.
Oh yeah,
£38.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys. Yeah. Was it Sammy Small? I mean, he was talking about the prices of some of his beers in Australia, and it was just like I thought this Sierra Nevada were bad. I'm like, I guess it's some of their beers are even worse. I'm like, oh. And some of them are like but it's like, I mean, it's all beer. I mean, it's not just the craft beer.
I mean, you get like Cascade Sang Royal, 9.4%, £7.80. You think, brilliant deal. Then you find out it's only a 250 ml can.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
You know, so it's like the prices are like through the roof, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You offer all this to us, and then you put prices on that. Most people are never gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially this day and age.
Yeah.
It's like breweries are going to be struggling soon because of the malts, hops, everything is going to fuel crisis. Everything. We're all going to get. It's all going to be a knock-on effect.
Well, we almost had you probably might have heard it through the grapevine over there. We almost had a train strike over here, so all the shipping and all that went stopped. So everybody complaining about our inflation now, going, "Oh, this is going to drive inflation even higher," because it's just like nothing's moving. I mean, you can't. Some things you can't get now. I was going like kind of thing. So, but yeah, Rob, we kind of been through. It's been probably 10 years. We had a hop shortage over here. I mean, breweries basically you got to the point where you going, okay, we can only get this hop. Like, okay, what is that closest to? It's like, okay, we're gonna kind of. I mean, they try to. So, I mean, kind of going to go through that again. So it's.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big problem. I think SARS hops. I think they've had a bit of a problem this year.
Yeah, well, because everybody's using it for. Well, that tells you how many people are brewing lagers, pilsners, and all those styles. Everybody's brewing more of those. So yeah, because everybody uses that. So gonna have to get creative and find another mild hop. And they're out there. It's just not. What's it gonna do? It's gonna change your beer.
We've got a lovely hop over here now, Harlequin.
Yeah.
And that makes fantastic pilsners.
Yeah. There's some really good hops in the UK at the moment. Really good. The UK have turned the corner for the hops. We just got to.
Yeah.
Just takes so long. I think Harlequin might be about 10 years old, but only just now got to the market. Really, it takes that long.
Yeah.
To get something.
Well, I think I just said they probably stepped up their game because obviously the U.S. market was predominant, and New Zealand too. I think they were. So I think UK okay, we need to get back on the A game here, and I think so. That's why probably some of the hops took a while to come out.
Yeah,
there's a shortage of hops in the US. They're all in Sharky's garage. That's where the shortage of hops comes from. There's a 15-year supply of Sharkweiser sitting in his garage. That's where Sharkweiser and ESB for pops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I kind of told Rob that my ESB for next year, I'm gonna go back to what I originally did. Basically, I add just a touch of smoked malt into it, so like you kind of like you go in the good old days when you walked into a pub and you walk in and like snap, that's all the people smoking in your face. So I was like, okay, so you can kind of have that ambiance kind of feel to it. Oh, it's like so. I mean, it's real subtle. I mean, it's not like it's like it's smoke in your face. You can pick it out because I brewed it a couple years in a row, and I decided, well, in the last couple of years I kind of went, I want to just do a straight ESB, so I'm gonna go back to that one because my dad liked it. But I said, gonna give you that tavern pub kind of vibe.
That's kind of what Rauch beer gives me. You know, you're drinking it and it's that smoky. It's like, you know, you've kind of got someone's fag ash that's just being dropped into your pint. It used to happen all the time. Yeah. Everyone's drunk. Where's the ashtray? Oh, someone's pint, that'll do. Stuff it. You know.
So, I got to write a note because I got something to talk about for our homebrew discussion next week.
There's a discussion going on. No one's ever mentioned it.
It's about what? But no, it's just basically it's purchasing. I don't know. I mean, I reckon we can talk about it now, but it's so basically. I mean, Rob. I know you're in a homebrew club, right?
Mm.
Do you guys? I think you probably answered that question before. You guys bulk buy? You got, hey, we're gonna get whatever malt. And, okay, we're gonna buy a big sack of it, and basically, okay, we're gonna divvy it out.
Yeah.
And
he cuts down your deliveries, everything. It just bulk buy cheaper. That was going to be one of my tips. Bulk buy, definitely bulk buy if you can. Reduce the costs, delivery costs, everything. Fuel.
Oh, especially if you can get the big sack of grain. I mean, kind of thing. That's because that's basically. I mean, that's the ultimate. But if you got enough homebrewers in your club, you can easily do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially on your base malts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'll go and it's just, hey, anybody got this malt? I need this, and they go, oh yeah, okay, give me what I need. Because like for us, stovetop, it's all you don't need that much. I mean, it's like it was like this. I mean that. I mean even the base malt, you're going like it's a couple kilograms or whatever kind of thing. Going it's like like that's all you want. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. And basically.
Under this hat, I've got a rat. It Eagles controls what I do when I'm homebrewing. It just tells me what to put in there.
But funny enough, the only one that hasn't said their beer of the year is Thomas.
Have we not?
Yeah.
What beer here? Canvas Sunny Day. It's a triple quad. Quad beer. So you probably haven't heard it before. You probably haven't heard the beer. It's Irish. That's why I picked it.
In other words, Thomas has just told me any old baloney because
Yeah.
he hasn't really thought
Yeah.
it through.
Please let me fact check that and see if it actually that beer does exist.
Yeah. Tom's just put as much thought into that remark as he has doing a Christmas themed background.
Well, I didn't think Danny was going to join me earlier today, so I was going to go, I'm going to cancel this. That was like 2 minutes before when I saw Luke's head pop up. Yeah, I might cancel this.
Well, I'm glad we never, because I've done my happy hour, so I don't have to do one now.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to do it. You can't cancel your happy hour.
I've done it.
Yeah,
I've just done it.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it on your show.
So basically, I mean, obviously, you guys talk. How many breweries, you guys' areas have closed? I mean, has any of them closed? I mean,
locally to me, we've been quite fortunate in Greater Manchester. We've not really had any breweries, touch wood, as yet close. But I think some are really, one of them's just opened a tap room, which is going really well, which is fantastic. A lot of them are sort of branching out and doing a lot of collabs. So obviously trying to do the collabs with each other. So it's bringing down, like you were saying before, about the bulk buying, sort of doing that. And so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we have, I know a lot of, I mean, I'm sure they do it anyway, but we have a lot of breweries. They're part of guilds and they do, I mean, there's like 12, 15 breweries. I mean, they bulk buy. I mean, basically, we're talking train cars loaded of grain kind of thing, and they get for like nothing. So every once in a while, hey, we get cheap beer. Okay, we're gonna kind of things like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. Same with the hot lots.
Oh yeah, and basically too is it's a lot of them is like, oh, they don't have enough, and so they call around and say, hey, do you have any of this to spare? And this, and they'll go, yeah, or basically they'll trade. Oh, what do you have? They can trade kind of thing. They'll do that.
Yeah,
I've seen them talk about once in a while.
The good thing about breweries and the brewmasters and everything, they're all quite open and they share with each other. You think, they're not going to tell each other recipes, but they actually do. They're quite open and share, and sort of like us home brewers. They're always very critical as well of their own beir because they will always want to improve.
Yeah.
So
see, where I am, we've got two breweries that have kind of gone. Saints Row in Darlington. That was a massive upset because they were doing some awesome beers. Like no one could touch them locally. It was like, and then all of a sudden overnight they just went, we're out of business. Everything's up for bill. Anybody want to buy a full brewery for £50,000? And that was it. And then obviously we've got S43.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of politics around it. So it's only closing because it's been acquired because of bigger premise. So what it is they need a bigger premise to be able to do more. But they can't afford the bigger premise. So they're kind of stuck in a place, and it was like, we need a buy-in. So Vaux Brewery, which is in Durham, Sunderland, they were like, we'll kind of help you out. So this thing about, well, they've let staff go. Well, yeah, because Vaux are using their stuff. You know.
Where's S43? Is that a Northeast brewery then?
Yeah, it was Coxo, just outside of Sunderland and Durham, like in between them. But obviously they do some cracking beers, you know, and it's kind of like our little breweries that are doing some fantastic stuff so close to the line of closing. I mean, before all the craft beer, my type of thing was distilleries, the whiskey, the rum, vodkas. We've had 4 distilleries in the last 3 months that have closed. And they were making waves with some of their stuff, like international awards and One of them had just come back from the States, won this big award, and then 3 weeks later closed the doors. That was it. You know, and it's like high and low, you know, and it's kind of, I don't think people are, you know, buying from supermarkets is fine. Oh, look at this, I can get 2 cases of beer for £20.
Yeah.
Well, do that if that's what you want to do, but when your little local brewery closes, don't complain about people being out of a job when you haven't bought from them because the supermarket is just a cheaper option. I mean, it's not always a cheaper option because I think you get much better beers from your local breweries than what can go into supermarkets.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't appreciate some breweries going into supermarkets. I wasn't a fan of Vocation going into a supermarket because, and I kind of turned me back a little bit on Vocation because it was like, you're just another tiny rebel and Brewdog and that sort of thing. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, but now you've lost your spark. So
it was very similar when. Sorry.
I suppose a brewery, if they need to get quantity out there and they need to get money in, a supermarket comes asking, and you've got bills, you're gonna take it. Keep the wolf from the door. Yeah,
that's sort of what I was going to lead to. There was, you remember last year? Was it last year? Cloudwater sort of got involved with Brewdog, and then got some 4 small breweries involved and released into Tesco. But Cloudwater only did that so that the 4 smaller breweries like Eco and Queer Brewing could get their name out there, and people could try the beer and then go to the brewery and buy the beer from there. That was the only beer, so you literally could only buy one of it. The idea was to get them out there so people would buy. But then obviously when Brewdog had that documentary, Cloudwater just went dink and pulled it out, and you no longer can you get Cloudwater beers in Tesco.
I mean, just remember, if you're buying a can of beer for £1.39 in a supermarket, that brewery isn't going to be making anything.
No,
because your supermarket's going to take their mony. Then you've got your cost of ingredients, everything on top. Profit margin will be pennies. So,
well, the best way they're going to do it too is they're going to contract some of these core beers, kind of thing. So, okay, here's the recipe. Well, now do what you need to do to kind of get that similar taste and profile to it, but obviously do what you got to do. So, I mean, we used to have in Southern California, we have a big contract brewer. I mean, they did a lot, and sometimes we hear what beers coming out, we're going like, no way. I mean, there was big name craft breweries that were using them because the demand for it. I mean, so but kind of thing. Of course, they brewed it cheaper, kind of thing, and so they were, as I said, they would put them in the supermarkets that way. So just to get their name out. I mean, so they, of course, now once you hear about that, you kind of went, oh, that kind of, but
yeah. There's when Cloudwater had their beers in Tesco and it was contract brewed by Brewdog, they tasted nothing like the Cloudwater beer you could buy from Cloudwater Brewery. It was just, there was no comparison. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
And people going, it's not the same. It's just not. It's just a name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because then once we heard about that, you kind of what you did is you went and got one of those, and basically you went and got a growler or crowler from the actual brewery, and you did it side by side. And the contract brews, they were thinner. I mean, and all that. I mean, so in body and all. I mean, it's like the color. Yeah, it was pretty same because none of that. But boy, the body was thinner, and so then obviously that affects the flavor and all that. I mean.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, especially with water. Like the water's going to be different in 2 places. The recipe has to change.
Oh yeah, and they use, like I said, like what Luke John said earlier on, was about the water. I mean, it's, they're using whatever water they have there, and they're using that. So they're not adjusting the water chemistry or anything. They're just like, so that's another thing that changes the beer a lot.
Massively. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I'm be kind of like the what we expect from the breweries like next year kind of thing. I'm going like I would not be surprised if we see more collabs, especially if there's all these shortages like you're talking about, Rob. And going like they're gonna have to start like combining,
working together.
Yeah,
working together to survive over the next couple of years, really, which isn't a good thing, is it?
It
can be. I mean,
we're going to see a lot more gypsy breweries. So, like people have heard of Yeasty Boys. Well, Yeasty Boys have about 5 or 6 different beers that are brewed across 3 different sites across the UK.
Yeah,
you know, their Yeasty Boys that was in Lidl was brewed in Camerons and Hartlepool, but yet their kind of premium Yeasty Boy was done somewhere in Kent. So they're kind of picking and choosing where they want beers to be brewed.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think a lot of breweries are going to be like, well, that's going to be cheaper. We don't have all the running costs. We don't have all the admin costs. I mean, now the way, obviously, that cap's just been took off, so the government's going to push it up to £4,500 a year from April. Well, if that's just to keep the heating on, which some breweries need heating, they've got offices and things like that. I think they're gonna struggle. So I think next year, I'm kind of worried a little bit that some breweries might put out cheaper stuff but ask for more money.
Oh well, yeah.
You know, I think they're gonna create obviously using cheaper ingredients, but then saying, well, we've got all this cost that we have to pay, so the users are going to pay more, but we can't deliver what we used to. I think that's the way I see it. The distilleries have already started to do it. The gin makers have already started.
So the taxation on all that, is that, do you guys vote on it, or is this the government decides to we're say we're going to raise it or lower the tax kind of? Did they? I mean, who makes that call? I guess.
Yeah, government decides.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering if they raise the tax. Just say they need money and they raise a tax on that. Well, I mean, look what's going to do to the any brewery or I'll say any alcohol kind of business. I mean, that's now you're going to have a 3% IPA going like kind of thing.
Yeah, well, funny enough, so I think if it's below 3.6, there is less tax to pay on a beer. So it's below a certain percentage. So that's why now some of the kind of big guys, the big beers, the macro lagers and all that, have reduced the ABV slightly, because now tax goes on ABV, which is a bit of a shame, really, because why tax people for drinking better?
Yeah, because obviously they tax breweries here, but obviously they do it in a different way, because obviously our ABV is still 5, 6, 7. I mean, on some beers. I mean, so I forgot how it was, but I mean, but it's obviously we tax different than what you guys do over there.
So ours is like 20%. So our tax rate is 20% on everything you buy. And then what happens is, like, I've got a calf, so every time I send out a breakfast, I get a further tax because it's hot food. So I get taxed double. So that's why Greggs and all that, when you go into a Greggs or a Couplands or a bakery like that, there's a reason why they're getting them out the oven all the time. Because people want it hot, but they're putting it into displays that aren't heated. So they're not selling hot food. Because they're not keeping it hot.
Yeah.
It's very clever to get around it, but it kind of puts calves and all that in a position where it's like, well, we can't do that. We can't just, your sausages, bacon, hash browns, everything else has to be hot. You can't just take it straight out of the oven and then say, there you go. We're not doing hot, we're selling a cold breakfast, it might just be warm.
Yeah, it's room temperature. Yeah.
Yeah, but then government,
or slightly above room temperature. Yeah.
But then government come round and say, please be a warm hub, and we'll give you £500 towards the heating. Yeah, but we do that, and then we end up selling more, and then you end up getting more tax off us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cup of tea, it's warm, you pay extra tax.
So, what do you think is going to be? I mean, the beer of the year for next year?
Luke John's beer is going to be the beer of the year next year.
What, the back room at Disco?
Yeah.
It won't be. It's good. It's good. If I've got one critique over it, is
see you later,
David. It's got, the carbonation's a little bit too low. But other than that, I mean, I've already drank 20 cans of it. So, it's not too per
That's just tonight.
I can't drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I critique it all the time, but we like playing. The whole point of it is have fun.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong. We're not going to sell it. If it goes wrong, we'll just drink it ourselves. That's just the way it goes.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, for me, it's quite good having a YouTube channel because my next one's called Brad. It's a beer named Brad. So the can I'm just going to say Brad. I got a lot of ideas for the can art, but I'm not gonna. We'll do that. Well, I've already got the Californian IPA one made up, so that'll be summer time next year. So, and I'm not going to show the one that I've done for Thomas, but
you couldn't show that. You get kicked off YouTube if you show that.
Let's just say all it's got is leprechauns and widgets.
Not your OnlyFans page, Luke. That's
OnlyFans.com/leprechaun and widget.
Yeah, you tricked me once with that before, Luke.
But, yeah. I mean, obviously, I want to send out a few of these cans, so Rob's going to get a few. Disco should get his maybe Tuesday or Wednesday next week as well. So yeah, but I mean for me, so there's 100 cans there, even with VAT. I paid like £270 for 100 cans of craft lager.
Cheers, Tank.
So when we're talking about like bulk buy and economy of scale, well, there you go. I've spent 270 quid, but I've got 100 cans of beer.
Yeah.
You try and get 100 cans of beer from your local brewery for 270 quid. That's not going to happen.
No.
So
No chance.
No, I'm just wondering if that beer that you bought, if that was from another beer that they already made, and they just cut you a rate just because of the quantity.
No, I helped make this one, Sharky.
Okay.
Yeah, I helped make this lager. It's one of my little joys of working close and having friends that are owners of the brewery. Just to be able. I mean, I can rock up there anytime and have a chin wag and grab a can and sit and chill back and stuff. But it's I mean, this one's totally different from the last one, which I quite like in its own way. The last one kind of had a seltzer beginning to it to cleanse the palate.
Mm.
This one, it's just a straight up lager with a citrus finish. But it's still light, it's still refreshing. Like I said, the only thing is it's not as carbonated as I like, but it's still Still going to get you pissed after 10 of them.
Well, maybe not you.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's seen the antics of last night, yeah, I think I ended up. So I did my happy hour. I done the 2.5 cans, and then Jaguar went live, and I ended up having 18 beers from 4% to 15%.
Oh, you're crazy, man.
I was a wreck, and I was only up there for 5 hours. I was like, this is why.
Yeah, geez, you going 3? I mean, you 3 beers an hour. That's a pretty good clip.
Yeah.
You're going that.
But funny enough, I felt it this morning at work. It just came up and sucker punched, like, take that. But you know, nothing. A couple of bacon buns doesn't sort out.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, I don't have to pay for the bacon buns either, so that's not a bad deal, is it?
No 40% on them.
Yeah. Well, I finished off that vocation. The last 2 of that was a rubbish. The only decent one was the Twix, which is what I reviewed with Thomas. The others were just rubbish. Don't waste your money if people see them. It's not worth it. Absolutely.
How much was they? Is it 5 cans?
5 cans, and it was £32.
With a glass, was it?
With a glass and a few beer mats. Which, you know, it's all right as a gift, but you still expect to have some good beer. But, I mean, this is kind of why I said I'd turn me back on vocation, because they're doing a lot for supermarkets, and I just think they're kind of, you know, them beers 2 or 3 years ago would have been absolutely outstanding. Now it's like we're too busy doing all this for supermarkets and cheap and getting out, and they've just took the eye off the ball. So, a bit disappointing. But I only got it because it was a gimmick. I knew it was a gimmick. I only bought it because it was a gimmick. So
yeah.
I never reviewed them and, you know, said it's fantastic. It tastes like a Malteser. Actually, no, it just tasted like watery shite to me. But you know, I'm not one of these reviewers that are going to say, go out, buy it. You know, it is exactly what it says.
Well, that's basically, yeah. I mean, that's the review says. Okay, really bad. If it says it's going to be this kind of thing on the beer should be like that. If it's not, okay, yes, it's going to be a bad rating. I mean, you're advertising the beer to be this, and you're not. It's like, okay, come on.
Well, it never actually says out on the can what it's meant.
What it was, it just the can are used kind of like, okay, that's you're guessing. Yeah.
It led you to what it was. Yeah.
Well, because there's trademarks in that, so obviously they had to pay those trademarks to say that name or whatever. So it's like
no, I think they got a cease and desist to stop producing, or didn't they? Or maybe that's marketing.
Yeah, well, that's probably why they changed the counter to so generic. You're going like, you know what it is when you see the counter. Okay, I know what that is, but that them actually saying it.
I mean, last night the Snickers. That's not a Snickers. That is a Snickers. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
Or a marathon.
All I got from it was chocolate nugget or nougat. You know.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm not getting peanut. I'm not getting caramel. I'm just getting nugget. And I'm like,
yeah, you would think you would get the peanut, or at least they took the peanut out just for the allergy part. But because
I think it actually said contains.
Oh, they say contains peanuts. That way for the people that are allergic, because that's a big no.
But it wasn't the Snickers, like where the Twix one, you've got the caramel.
Yeah, the Beckton's.
You've got the biscuit. You kind of got what what a Twix is, but the others were just wishy-washy.
And very the same, I thought. It was the same kind of base malt or whatever, same. They're very samey.
But yeah, well, because the caramel, like in the sticker ones, I'm going, that's easy to get that flavor. I mean, from the malt with the specialty malts. I mean, it's not like it's hard. To me, it'd be more of the nougat. I mean, they would actually have to put the nougat in there to get that. The caramel, you can easily, what malt you use. I mean, it's the chocolate. I mean, the chocolate and caramel. I mean, all that. It's in a biscuit. If it's like the Twix, those are the easiest things to create.
Yeah. I mean, the bounty was 10%, and that should have been the the build up. So you kind of have your 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. That's the big one. And it was just rubbish. It was like synthetic coconut. It was more coconut milk than
they probably use a cooked extract.
But I've always got this problem when people say, "Oh, it's chocolate and coconut," because I'm like, if that's got no bits in it from a coconut, then it's not coconut. It's just milk of.
Give me milk or extract.
I kind of want little bits of coconut. That's what it should
stuck
be.
in your teeth.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to chew it. Yeah. No, look, John, what you should have done was bought the coconut, cut it in half, pour the beer into the coconut, and drink out of the coconut.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, so I've bought a box of celebrations, and I've already done the shot where in a glass I've just filled them up with the chocolate.
Yeah.
Beer review number 1, and I just fill it up with a load of Maltesers. This is our beer review. Hi, Bob.
Oops.
So they want a gimmick, I'll give them gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's soak into the Maltese, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll pour the Maltesers in a glass, and then I'll get a real stout and say, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Well, it's like it was like with the Cadbury egg challenge. I mean, you almost do that. Try to do with the Snickers bar, because basically when we took it was you got a stout and you put the Cadbury egg and blended it up into the beer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that Cadbury egg stout kind of, because I think there was so that would be almost like a good challenge that probably would taste better than the actual Vocation beer probably.
Well, Rob hasn't done his brewery day yet at Lord's, so let's just fill him full of ideas.
Oh,
yeah.
Just ask Disco about that. I mean, look at his stout. I mean, look at his stouts going through.
Maybe barrel aged now.
Yeah, Disco made me do it.
Well, yeah. And I'm shocked because how you say it was fermenting, and it says, yeah, it tastes all right. I'm going like, I go, wow, okay. I'm just kind of because it had a stuck fermentation. I mean, it's fermented too warm. I mean, I'm just like wow, you're just this one of those like, and John's, because he said he spent a lot of money on it, so he's trying to salvage it. So I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But I think
he's gonna try to hide it with the barrel aging trick.
He just say it's over sweet, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't think it fermented.
They are more cask and keg. They're more commercial than kind of public facing. So their core cans, they've always got them for sale, but they've never got anything else. I mean, these ones I only got because they're in kegs.
Yeah.
They're not in cans, so you have to buy, 5 litres, 8.5 pints.
Yeah. Yeah, because Lords have got quite a few on cask, haven't they? Lots of stuff on cask you don't see in a can.
Yeah.
Or bottle. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
I say
think it's just like it's cost.
Yeah.
And
it's like they do a dark mild. I'd love to try the dark mild. I'll have to go nip over the hill. It's only literally over the hill, and try a dark mild from Lords. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
really would. That's just cask only, though.
I mean, obviously, I've been quite lucky to go to a few festivals. That's at John's Beer and like on tap and whatever. So that's been good. But it's like, where can I get it now? Oh well, we've got there's about 15 pubs that we go to, and I'm like, really? I mean, I keep saying to my local micro pubs up here, try John at Lords, and they're just like, nah, we get it cheap, we know what we want. And I'm like, yeah, but try something different. And I'm like, Huddersfield isn't a million miles away from Teesside, so kind of why is he not pushing? There's a big market there, especially of beer drinkers. Because us people on Teesside, we kind of like.
Well, I think one reason would be his capacity is small. He can't produce it fast enough to go any bigger. I think I'll probably almost say he's probably almost maxed out for what amount he can produce. I mean, from his little system that he has, I'm going, wow, that's pretty small. I mean, it's almost like not quite a nano brewery, but he's got to be. That's Mike from the head brewery. He's got to be sitting turning the brewing system constantly to keep up with capacity.
Yeah,
I think that's why every once in a while you'll see him buy a new tank for this or equipment for this. I mean, slowly. I mean, he's got the room, especially if he's not going to. I mean, if he's not going to open that tap room up to the public, I mean, that often he can just. Of course, his investors are not going to spend the money yet.
I mean, I know he said yesterday it was about a tens issue with getting a license. Well, he could have just rang the local council and said, "Can I just change the time from 7 o'clock to 3? Is that all right?" And they would have probably gone, "Yeah, thank you for ringing us," because you could have just done it anyway and nobody would have found out until your 10th license kicked in and there's nothing you can do. So, and obviously, I'm a councillor. I shouldn't really be giving that information out. But, but a lot of councils, especially on a Friday, aren't going to be investigating whether you're open at 3 or 7 or 5.
No, they'll be out drinking.
You'll probably end up getting the council in there all having a beer. But obviously, I planned to go. I had everything ready. And then the night before, he put the video up saying, "We're not open until 7."
Yeah.
And I was just like, well,
it's like here.
I had 3 people that was going with me.
Yeah.
We would have all probably spent 60, 70 quid each.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money missed out.
You probably spent more because you probably would have brought something back as well.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I probably would have done a little Christmas shop, maybe a few more kegs, the black IPA and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, the cities here, they're the same way. There are certain cities here that are brewery friendly or not, because, like I said, they have the poster hours, kind of like what you're talking about. But there are cities like, yeah, whatever you want, we're good, kind of thing. And then there's other cities that are, you gotta follow. I mean, it was like, really? Then eventually, when they find out, oh, this is really great for our economy, for our city, then they kind of like, okay. I mean, as long as there's nobody complains about it, there's no like loud noise and all that. There's no. I mean, and nothing bad happening. They're gonna allow it. I mean, as long as you're doing like an hour here, an hour there, as long as you're within the certain range, you can say, oh, we had a special event. That's why we were open early or later. But I mean, John's only open 1 day a month. I'm going like, you want to be open as long as possible to get that extra revenue. But
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
think
because I don't know if it's because he's just doing it by himself and he just
probably, yeah, more than likely. Because I did ask this question last night on the stream whether he's going to open over Christmas. Because if he was going to open at any point over Christmas, it might have popped over. But he's not. He's staying closed over Christmas. He said it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah. And then when unfortunately, when breweries then say, "Well, we're a bit cash strapped and we don't know what to do," and it's like, you've got a space.
Yeah.
You can get a license, phone the council, get an officer out. They'll help you with your paperwork. You've got it sorted. Some of these small breweries, we haven't got space for a tap room. Your tap room is move your forklift out the way. There's your tap room.
Yeah.
People aren't bothered.
Same here.
Put some pallets out. Nobody's bothered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not bothered. If I've got somewhere to sit, I'll sit on anything.
You probably have to be a pallet for you, Luke.
Well, I wouldn't sit on anything. That's a. Don't go there, Brad. I can see your cogs.
But yeah, I mean, because like for him, I mean, he could be like, because I'm assuming he doesn't brew on the weekends. Maybe he could do a Friday, Saturday. I mean, just 2 days. I mean, that's a lot of breweries that they start up here. They're 2 days, like Friday, Saturday, and until they get their business, then they all of a sudden expand. I mean, I've seen breweries probably just as smaller than what John had, and they basically said they just shift everything over and basically cover it up wherever tarps or they say you're sitting on bags of grain kind of thing, and then they open up for business. I mean, if John really wanted to, he could.
I think John knows what.
Yeah, I think John's pretty business savvy, so it's whatever. There's something that we're not being told.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So,
I mean that's kind of when he said about a TENS license, I was like, why are you just getting a temporary license? So a TENS is just a temporary event status. So basically, you get a license and it lasts for 7 days. So you can have it for the whole 7 days. Now you pay, I think it's about £28 for a 7-day license. Well, you can sell beer on site for 7 days.
Yeah.
No one can touch you. So it's kind of like during the summer and all that, these breweries could be throwing the doors open and saying, right, this week, boom, there you go. Big massive event. Group by numbers do it.
Yeah, I'm sure before lockdown, Lords was open as a tap room a lot more than just one day. It's a lot more busy, wasn't it then? Yeah,
because I guess what he said is because obviously look at what the tap room he has. I mean, because a lot of the stuff where you were sitting now, it's starting to get with the equipment and stuff. So, well, he had talked about too when they were actually looking to move at one point, but I think it was just the cost of that was just prohibitive at the time.
Jojo is in the house.
So, but no, I mean, as I said, depends what hit. I mean, I think John. I mean, there's a bunch of things of why. But as I say, there's a lot of breweries that probably like that. They're just like, because I'm sure John could hire somebody just to run. You get some kid to sit behind the bar and pour beer. I mean,
my local brewery, Three Brothers. So I've already mentioned that they do this £20 drink as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason they do that. One, they're promoting the business. Christmas parties, they're stout out with it. £20 per person, all you can drink on a Christmas party before you head into town. Yes, please.
Yeah.
One, they're clearing old stock.
Yeah.
They've got kegs and kegs of stuff where if sales to pubs hasn't been good, they can offload it in the tap room. £20 all you can drink. It was just going to have one of something. you're going to have a couple. So they do it that way, and then they once had the 10th license, and then just said, actually, for the cost of it, we may as well just go full on, just have a license, have the tap room, open it, and they're saying it's the best idea.
Well,
because it's making them a fortune, and they're getting rid of stuff. Obviously they reuse the barrels, so they're not having to buy new barrels.
Some of the breweries where they were doing here, because what kind of license they had, they basically had their production facility, and they had a tap room. They'd go rent a storefront X miles away and be able to use carry their license over there to serve the beer, kind of thing. So that was the kind of a trend probably 5 years ago. I mean, obviously now they pretty much stopped, but there was a trend of a lot of the big breweries. I mean, craft breweries that were starting to do that. And it wasn't just one; they'll have 2 or 3 tap rooms all over the city. I mean, so it's like, so you didn't have to go drive all the way over here. Well, you just go over here a couple miles this way. There's a tap room. And what was funny too is that there was a place in San Diego that basically on one street there was like 4 these tasting rooms. So you would just jump all over and go pub crawling kind of thing. So that was and let's see, then the breweries were scattered all over the place. So it was like one-stop shopping kind of sense.
Yeah.
Because they were selling the beer. I mean, obviously you can drink there and whatever, but they were selling cans and bottles or whatever they're, to the public. So I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I
mean, pubs have a part to play. I know there's in Stockton-on-Tees, a lot of the pubs and micro pubs only open up on a Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They close the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're not getting any customers in because you're closed.
Yeah.
And a few customers, so I was always out on a Thursday night, go over the town on a Thursday night. Even the most common of pubs now close at 8 o'clock, where they used to be up until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning before lockdown. Now it's closed. So I think it's like, still that hangover from lockdown.
Yeah.
And now, a lot more people are drinking at home, me included.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's more people working at home, and also the pubs work differently now as well because of that. They just see it doesn't benefit to be open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because there's the trade quite low, and then you've got that issue again, haven't you, with the heat in the pub and the electricity.
Well,
again, there was a threat at one point.
The heating problem. Winter. The heating problem can be solved. You just get a bunch of people stuck in together, and that body heat will get going.
Well, we've got candles in our micro pub. Well, we've had candles on from the get-go since it started. So at about 6 o'clock, they always switch the main lights off, and it gets dimmed down, and it's kind of atmosphere brings a little bit to it.
The other thing
when all the blokes with big coats come in.
Yeah. See, the other thing too is like this. I'll use John as an example. Is like now when he opens that tap room for the day, basically everybody needs to go. I mean, they need to make that thing just packed as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because I think if he sees that, I think he'll think about it. But if you just trickle in, the brewery won't change. They'll leave it as is because all the costs into that. Like I said, heating the building up, cleaning the facilities more often, and that kind of thing.
I think John's also said that the access as well is not the best.
Yeah.
To his tap room, he said it's not the best access, which is a bit of a shame as well for him.
Well, I don't know what's. I mean, obviously he's out in the field. I mean, out there. I mean, it's like there's no other attraction besides him. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I looked at a hotel, and it was like, on the you literally have to go on the motorway. And I'm like, that's a bit of a trek to get to John's.
Yeah.
Which is why I arranged to have a driver fuel us in a car 3 till 7 and leave. Because it was like, I don't really want to be paying 80 quid for a night in a hotel if I can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously he changed it, it said 7 o'clock, and I was like, and I mean, in all fairness to mates, they were like, well, can't we get down there for 7, leave about, 10:30? I'm like, not really. Not that late on a night if something happens coming back and work and everything else. But, yeah, come on, John, get yourself sorted.
But it's not just John. I'm sure there's other breweries that are like that too.
Yeah,
I mean, we have those here. I mean, somebody who's like because basically they used to be open every day. Now they're back to 2 days, and like I said, then the shorter hours is like, and basically to solve that problem is to go pack that place up and force them to kind of.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier. A lot of them will be chatting and best practice and what suits. So.
And I only say that because I didn't get a ticket for tonight. £20 all I can drink, because obviously I thought I was going to Lord's yesterday and I'd have plenty.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm gonna have to start heading off soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we said an hour.
Been lovely.
We've done 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we couldn't get Thomas to shut up. I mean, come on, Thomas.
Yeah,
shut
exactly.
Up.
Yeah. Thomas was.
I had to get word in edges. That's the way it's like, you know.
Come on, Thomas, shut up. Jeez, man.
Yeah.
We can't. We ain't allowed us to talk, Thomas.
I think we'll end it there. So we'll say thank you to everyone in the chat. I'll say thank you to these, I don't know what you call them, for diving. Happy Christmas.
Look for us on next Saturday. Well, me and Rob next Saturday in the morning. For me, beginning, then me and Luke John later on, which I'm sure those guys mentioned that earlier on when I wasn't here.
No, no.
I'm getting Rob's floppy seconds next Saturday.
well, if he can get the beer, he might be joining us.
I've got next Saturday. I've got the Fab Show as well.
Yeah, because we'll be going. We'll be the first hour of the Fab Show. So yeah, you're gonna. Well, no, we're doing a torpedo next week. So next Saturday, so you'll be fine. So it's going to be probably the week after when you're not doing the Fab Show. We'll do the. Yeah,
I'll message you both about that one.
Yeah.
So I've got the Fab Show next week, and it's going to be the Fab Show Christmas Porter tasting, which. I'm saying nothing.
So yeah.
I just want a bacon beer. I'm not bothered. I want a bacon flavored stout. That's my Christmas wish.
You can make that in the cafe. Just grill some bacon and put it in the stout.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. It's almost You have a stout and just eat the bacon side by side.
Yeah.
I mean,
bacon and hash brown together.
Yeah, because you'll never get a true bacon flavored beer. It's because it's that smoke malt. You get the just use an extract or something, but then you don't want to do that. I think people actually did that try because we do have a it's Pizza Port. It's a brewery in San Diego. It's bacon. Is it ham, bacon, and eggs beer?
Oh no.
Yeah. And, well, Rob, believe it or not, it sells. Because it's in a local supermarket, and so it's a kind of thing, and they have these weird beers, and people buy it because it's a novelty thing, and people and I'm sure after they buy the ones, they're going like your reaction is like, okay.
Everybody thinks it's weird, but just look at Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
Yorkshire pudding beer. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining. This has been
Thanks, Thomas.
Window Review Thomas's channel, even though he hasn't said a bloody word for the best part of 2 hours. He gave us a fake beer name with his fake Christmassy tree background. That's what it is. So,